Bro, do Benny Hanna. Do switch Benny Hanna.
Hey guys, welcome to BigDeckEnergy. Today we are going to war because we have 3 setups here. Alright, so we got the Spitfire Reynolds Softslides right here. We got the BigDeckEnergy formula. And of course, the classic Dragon formula. Now the reason I'm putting all these wheels up against each other is because Powell came out with the Dragon formula about a year and a half ago. Ever since then, everybody's kind of tried to capture that magic because it is a really good wheel. But you know, Spitfire, all the other companies, they want to get in on that action. So Spitfire invented the soft slides, and Bones, of course, is an extension of Powell. So they're not really competition. The Bones is a 97A, but the Spitfire Softslides are a 93A. Same goes for the Dragon formulas. I have heard a lot online that people think the Spitfires are actually a lot closer to these. And we're gonna find out today which of these wheels is best for what, because these are all very good wheels. We'll see. Let's check it out. Alright, so right off the bat, I can tell the Spitfires and the X formulas are rolling a little faster. I think the X formulas probably did a little bit of a better job. I can definitely feel the chug on the Dragons just rolling. But we're gonna take it over here, see how it does on transition. Dragons definitely feel better in transition. They're not chugging as much, but they are chugging a little bit. And honestly, I think the it's kind of a tie between the X formulas and the Bones on this. They both feel pretty good. Keeping my speed as much as I need. The Dragons, for the most part, are keeping my speed, but I can feel that little slight bit of hesitation getting up onto the ramp. But yeah, let's go test the rest of the stuff at the park and then kind of get to streets. So yeah, out of the 3 at the skate park, it's really a toss-up between the Spitfires and the 97s. They both feel really great. You know, they were handling everything the way I needed them to, sliding the way they should. The Dragons performed. They did a good job for what they are. You are chugging a bit, you're going a little bit slower, and you can feel it definitely between hopping on the other wheels. We got rained out. I think it's stopping now. You know, we're not gonna see the sun for a minute. So I'm gonna try and find some of the dry street spots I planned on skating, see if any of them are dry, and we'll see who comes out on top. Alright, so at this point, with only hitting the 2 spots I just hit, it's obviously clear the Dragon formulas are going to perform better on rougher ground. Now the soft sliders, still handling it just fine, and the X97s, but I'm feeling more rattle, a good bit more rattle, and I'm definitely feeling more of the cracks and everything on both of those. So it's really, at this point, as far as in the streets, it's down to these two that I'm trying to dial in if one is better than the other, or if we're literally dealing with X97s in just Spitfire form. Alright you guys, I'm back at home. Got rained out on the street spots, unfortunately. I feel like this video particularly has been cursed over the last, I think, 2.5, 3 weeks. I've been trying to film it, and literally every day I've had a chance to skate, it's been raining. We're gonna finish it up. Hopefully. We'll see. Alright, so real quick before we get into the final thoughts on these 3 wheels, I just wanted to go over a few of the specs I didn't cover. All of these were 54 millimeter wheels. I think I got each of the first incarnations of the Dragons, the X formulas, and the soft slides. I have had the X formulas for about 1.5 years. I've had the Dragon formulas for almost 2 years now, and the Spitfires just about 2 months. So with my time riding all these, I was pretty much sure of what the outcome was going to be before I started doing this video, I've spent enough time to where like I had felt the Dragon formulas long enough to where I knew the X formulas were gonna be harder, and then the Spitfires, I could feel they were harder. That could also be due to the fact the Spitfires have the smallest contact patch out of the three. After the Spitfires, it's the Dragon formulas, and the X formulas are the biggest out of them. So that could have something to do with it. Having that smaller contact patch might be a little harder to get over some of the bumps and cracks. But honestly, I wasn't mad about the performance of these wheels. Really, it felt like I was riding the X97, which I know a lot of people have said. Some people have said the X97 or the Spitfires are actually harder than the 97s, but for me, they pretty much feel like the 97s. So with that being said, like, you can't go wrong picking any of these. Spitfires, they're going to be great in the park, and same thing with the X97s, and then they're also going to be able to handle most of the rough ground. But then when it actually comes to the really rough stuff, you can't go wrong with the Dragon formulas. I'm going to pick these over these if I had that option for the really, really rough ground. So for me personally, I'm going to keep using the Spitfires. I would either pick the Spitfires or the 97s on any setup I'm going to make, because that's normally what I'm riding. I'm normally riding skate parks to semi-rough street spots. Every now and then I'm on a pretty rough street spot, but either of these handle all those situations fine. So for me, these are going to be the go-tos. And that's not to say you shouldn't pick Dragon formulas. I think these are awesome too, but I think the type of skating I do, I lean more towards the harder of the soft wheels, if that makes sense. I did notice one thing that kind of threw me off. The Dragons did sound pretty loud whenever I was doing power slides. It was kind of hard for me to tell between the Dragon formulas and the Spitfires, honestly, which were the louder two. Normally the Dragons don't have much of a bark, but I think it's because I've just worn these in so much that they don't have that first initial weird soft slidey or soft top layer type of deal. I do think these have a decent bark. It's not like a great bark. I think out of every wheel, probably OJ's has the best bark, and I really like how they sound. I know I had a few people comment to ask how they sound, so that's just my breakdown on it. Other than that, I really don't have much more to cover. It's really up to you guys. I know it's kind of frustrating. Some people really wanted, you know, Spitfire to outshine Dragon formulas, or Dragon formulas to outshine Spitfire. I think the thing is with the Spitfires, maybe bad marketing, because these really do feel like 97s. So to really have to compare them to the Dragon wheels is kind of unfair, because if we really went to the rougher street spots, I was rolling a lot smoother on these. For anybody that's wanting to pick these up, I would just say, if you like the Dragon formula and you're mostly skating rough stuff, stick with the Dragon formula. But if you're like me, you skate parks, you skate smooth stuff, you're skating a little bit of rough stuff, and then a little bit of really rough stuff, either the X formulas or the Spitfires are gonna be great. But that's gonna be it for me. Big Deck, out.
You know, do like 8, 9 kickflips in a session. Do them downstairs. Do them everywhere. Do a kickflip, man. It's pretty cool.